incredible fan base.
A lot of people are cheering out there.
We're going to put a seatbelt on you to keep you in the booth.
Breaks a tackle at the 10, angles in, touchdown, and he has dominated this opener tonight.
Alongside Tony Haynes, Matt Chazanow with you, and we are delighted to put our Director of Athletics, Boo Corrigan, to work. We've got you. We're in the nerve center here. Exactly. We're in the belly of the beast.
Exactly. Well, welcome. It's good to have you guys here. I look forward to catching up on a number of things.
Yeah.
You could tell he went to Notre Dame. He welcomed us.
That's right.
Man, is that exhausting or what?
I have never been. I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, the first couple times you're like, man, that's wonderful. And then like the 38th time you're like, they got like a shocker on them, right?
Yes.
They're standing by the gate. They get shocked and this says,
Tony,
welcome.
you got to tell them the story.
I was talking about it throughout before we went on the air, and you walk in, everybody's very nice. Welcome to Notre Dame. Welcome to Notre Dame. I ran into a caterer in the press box, and he looked at my red shirt, and he said, "You're not allowed to wear that in here." I said, "You know what? That's so refreshing."
Yeah.
Because I've been welcomed 20 times in the last 15 minutes. And he said, "They don't mean it."
Exactly. I had the same experience. They said, "You got to turn it inside out." I said, "You're more than welcome to leave the elevator right now." You know?
So what's it? Every 3 months or so, and maybe more regularly, we get you on the record, and it feel like the entire sport changes, or all of college athletics changes in like 12 weeks' time.
Right.
At current, from last we spoke, I believe the portal window has changed drastically, among other things that we'll get into. But to the best of your ability, since the start of football till now, what's the state of the union on college athletics? Big picture, how much has changed? And I know the phrase "keep your knees bent" always comes to mind.
Yeah, it does. And the more things change, the more it comes back to we're providing an unbelievable opportunity to get an education. We're providing an unbelievable opportunity to better yourself through sport, through academics, through social, of who we are, what we do, how we do it, and what we're proud of, right? So it's really, in a lot of ways, made me focus back on what our core mission is, and that is to educate young people, right? We want to win championships. Make no mistake about that. We want to win every time we go there. We want to provide a great environment for our fans as they come in. We want to, provide all the facilities that we can and make sure that we're there with the revenue share. We want to do all of those things. And while some of that has changed in the last 3 months, a lot of it's still, little changes in what's going on. I don't know if there's been another significant change, since the House settlement, right? And getting into the revenue share and where we're going with that. It's more kind of tweaks on what we're doing from that standpoint. But, long way of saying we're still in the education business, and that's a business that we all got into, and that's the whole business that we really want to be a part of. Now let's figure out, all right, how do we continue to be competitive? How do we continue to provide environments? How do we continue to do those things, but really never lose sight of what's most important?
Your dad, Gene Corrigan, was a giant in college athletics. Do you ever think what he would have thought about the current environment in collegiate athletics?
I do, and he adapted, right? I mean, this is a guy that when he started his career, he got hired as a lacrosse coach, at the same time became the soccer coach, and he'd never seen a soccer game, right? And he was an assistant basketball coach, and then he moved to just lacrosse, soccer, and he was a sports information director, right? I mean, we have 7 sports information people now. Right. So it's changed so much. More what I've thought about, and not to be overly provocative, if he was in a leadership role 5 years ago, 7 years ago, would we be where we are today? If Roy Kramer was in one of those jobs, would we be where Dave Gavitt? We had some true giants in college athletics that, kind of all left in and around the same time. Right? Would we be where we are today if they would have continued on? Maybe, with all the lawsuits, with everything else going on. But that thought has kind of entered my mind more in the last couple of really the last couple of months, as opposed to, people coming in and saying your father's turning over in his grave. Well, some of the people saying that, Dad retired 10 years before they even became an AD, right? So how do they know how he would have reacted to this whole thing? But the good thing is he was able to mentor a lot of people, right, throughout his career, as were Commissioner Kramer and Commissioner Gavitt and Hansen and all the greats that kind of came before. Carl James is one of them as well. And kind of thinking back on those legends in college athletics and what they did, and, Sid Dempsey. And I mean, you can go back. Maybe it's me getting older that I'm reflecting more on people that came before, but there's some real giants that came before that, we ended up where we did. You also have heard me say this, the front windshield's twice as big as the back on purpose. So you got to look forward on what we're doing. And I think, eventually we'll find our way there.
Did they see it coming, do you think, where we are now?
I think what they saw coming, when I believe when Dad hired Coach Holtz at Notre Dame, it's 85, 86, $125,000 to be the head coach at Notre Dame, right? Now that job's paying $7. You look at the USA Today last week, and they had all the salaries of all the head coaches, and there's probably 10, 15 guys in college football that are making more than $10 million, right? So when your head coach is making 125, your AD, and again, I've been a great beneficiary of it. I'm not saying that. When the AD is making 100, the head coach is making 150, you're not that far from the athlete, right? You're not that far from sports information. You're not that far from the radio voice. You're not, all of those things. And as things expanded, right, I think everyone saw that, and all of a sudden that becomes a slippery slope, right? When the coaches are making so much, and it's market driven, right? I mean, it's capitalism, it's all of those things. But I think in seeing the expansion there of those salaries became more and more out of whack to say students shouldn't be able to get anything, right? And then it didn't grow at the same time. One avenue of this is growing exponentially, and the other didn't grow at all. And I think what you're seeing now is kind of it got to a cliff, right, where the students weren't getting anything and the coaches were making so much. Now it's kind of coming into its own, if you will.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work, so enjoy a Coca-Cola.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's summer event time, Sam. Great time to buy.
A Ford F-Series truck.
Take your pick. Gas, all-electric, hybrid, and diesel. With impressive towing capability for any size to-do list. Like building a house.
A two-story brick colonial.
Or hauling that boat to the lake.
What?
That's actually on my to-do list.
Oh.
Now get 0% financing with 0 down, plus a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan on a 2025 Ford F-150 truck, only at your Carolina Ford dealers.
Your animals depend on you every day. So we build equipment you can depend on every day. Equipment that powers through mud, dust, and extreme weather. So cutting hay, feeding livestock, and managing land is easier. Loaded with intuitive, innovative features and tech, Case IH equipment isn't just built to work. It's built to work for livestock producers. Case IH, built by farmers.
Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums to restoring your smile to sponsoring your local team. Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
This segment of Pulse of the Pack is presented by Coca-Cola.
Looking at the current college football season, Texas started number 1. They've lost 2. Indiana's ranked 3rd. This past weekend, 5 teams dropped out of the top 25. 2 schools fired their coaches 3 weeks in. Penn State made a change mid-season. Do you think that the portal has contributed to all of this volatility that we're seeing right now in the game?
I think it has, but I think societally we've changed as well in that immediate gratification of everything that's going on, right? And if you get someone comes in from the portal, they got to make an immediate impact on what's going on. The coach has more and more pressure on them. You know, the assistants have more pressure on them. The trainers have more pressure on them. It's just kind of expanded out in a way. I think there's been, honestly, I think there's been a little bit of loss of dignity in what we do and firing of coaches midseason and some of those things. I mean, you got people that truly dedicate their life to something, right? And if it doesn't work out, is there a need to fire them immediately? Can you look at it and say, all right, what do we owe back? Are the kids, are the young people, I don't like the word kids, are the young people buying into the coach? Are they playing hard? Do they still care about each other? Do those things matter, or is it just wins and losses? You know, I always believe that, you know, the culture of the team and looking at how hard are we playing? Are they buying in? Are they locked in? And you can see those things, right? When the players come off the field, are they here or are they here? Where are they and what's going on? So, tumultuous times, you know, they really are, and kind of had a feeling this was going to be a year. There weren't a lot of changes last year in the Power 4 football, and I kind of had a feeling that maybe there would be more changes this year. Certainly didn't see that happening the way it's played out so far this year.
So you return to Notre Dame. The Irish lose a couple of replay reviews late in the first half. Those were the loudest boos I've ever heard. Did you think they were honoring you?
I did. So here's a funny story. One of the former cadet at West Point, football player, Kelvin White, is at Notre Dame getting his MBA. So we connected on Friday night. We were able to spend some time together. He actually sent me a text while that was going on saying, they love you here.
Yeah.
That's right. So it was kind of funny.
You and your family have so much invested in the ACC because of your history. And Jim Phillips here the last couple of years, he had to work hard trying to keep everybody on the same page. But looking back on it, whether it was your dad or John Swafford and now Jim Phillips, has every commissioner faced those issues trying to keep everybody happy and moving in the same direction?
Yeah, I very, very much so. I mean, going back to when Dad was the commissioner, adding Florida State was a big deal. Mm-hmm. You know, and the idea of getting everyone onto one page to be able to vote for Florida State coming in. Right. I mean, if you remember back in those days, I don't think you were born yet, but you know, back in those days, that was a big deal. And what were Duke and Carolina going to do, and were they going to vote for it or not? You know, and then as Commissioner Swafford comes in and further expansion along those lines, and you know the impact that has. At that point, Florida State was an independent in football, if you remember. I think they were in the Metro Conference in basketball. You know, and then as Commissioner Swafford comes in and the Big East schools and all those changes, I do believe this. I think all three of those commissioners have always looked at the bigger picture of the enterprise. And I think that's something that's really important that can get lost as well. And Jimmy, who I've known for a long time and have great admiration for, really is looking out for the bigger enterprise of college athletics and how do we solve the bigger issues of college athletics. And I think that's, really important.
How has it been working with Chancellor Howell? Last I saw you two, you were at practice with Coach Doran, and that was early, I think, just before the season kicked off.
He's been great. I mean, he really has. He's got a deep love and affection for this university, which I think is really important. Having been, the student body president, he was also a wrestler. He's been here multiple times. We started off as peers. Right on the cabinet. Clearly, he's got a better career path than I do as he became, the chancellor at NC State. But he's done a great job. I think the magnitude of those jobs are really just hard to comprehend. And I remember talking to Chancellor Woodson about it, and I think in a lot of ways our jobs are maybe more similar than other cabinet positions, maybe the provost as well, but just the public nature of being an AD, the public nature of being a chancellor of, it's just a little bit different. I think the public nature of it is sometimes takes a little bit of getting used to. Right when you go to the grocery store and someone wants to say something to you. We were joking one day. He said, every time I go someplace, it takes like an extra 10 minutes because someone wants a picture. It's usually not one.
Chaz knows all about that. Going to the grocery store, he can't get out of there.
Depends which grocery store.
I used to do these interviews with Chancellor Woodson. We called it the Chancellor's Corner. We would pre-record them and play them on the pregame show for football. We'd do about 3 at a time. And a lot of times I'd go down there and Kevin Howe would be there. And all he wanted to do was talk about football and basketball. I mean, he is into it, isn't he?
He is. He loves it. He loves, he loves to see students achieve is really what it is. And, at the end of the day, sports are two things. It's about bringing people together, right? And it's about celebrating the university. And what a better place to do that than Carter Finley in front of 57,000 for 25 consecutive games, 26 consecutive games, and to go into Reynolds Coliseum to see the women's basketball game, and there's 5,500 people there, and awful excited about Will Wade, in that first game at the Lenovo Center and seeing that game sold out, and again another opportunity. But I think he loves. I don't want to speak for Chancellor Howell, but I think he loves to see the pack come together.
Bring it in, Old Dominion! We know that it takes hard work to be the best in the game. It starts up front with protection, making sure the freight arrives safe and damage-free. Then we work as a team, packing every shipment and running every route with precision. And we always manage the clock to be on time every time, so that every drive is a scoring drive. 1, 2, 3, OD!
Now that's the best in the game. No playoff needed. Old Dominion Freight Line, proud sponsor of college athletics.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
All right, Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's summer event time, Sam. Great time to buy.
A Ford F-Series truck.
Take your pick. Gas, all-electric, hybrid, and diesel. With impressive towing capability for any size to-do list. Like building a house.
A 2-story brick colonial.
Or hauling that boat to the lake.
What?
That's actually on my to-do list.
Now get 0% financing with 0 down, plus a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan on a 2025 Ford F-150 truck, only at your Carolina Ford dealers.
2 years ago, football's in a bowl game. Both basketball teams qualify for the Final Four. Baseball goes to the College World Series. In retrospect, what did that success and exposure mean for NC State, the university as a whole?
Yeah, I think it meant a lot. And I think you can look at it. I think the visibility of seeing, the tough he had and people recognizing it, and even on broadcast, it's NC State, it's not North Carolina State, and just continuing to build on that. But as much as that is great nationally, right? How great was it for our fans, right? How great was it for the people? If your kids are 10 or younger, all they know is championships. It's a pretty good deal, right? When are we going to win another one, right? As opposed to this elongated period of time of not being there.
I noticed at the press conference that Will Wade has a certain knack for saying things that attract attention. I don't know if you've gathered the same notion. And that was one thing that became apparent. You've been at practice, and I've seen you there, and you've talked to Coach Wade a little bit as you've been able to. What have your initial observations of the Coach Wade era been, as we're actually not that far from tip-off?
He is who we thought he was, right? You got to let we were talking with some people the other day, and they were talking about how he was talking at the press conference, and I'm like, that's kind of Will being Will, right? I mean, that's who he is. That's what it is, right? And the great thing about practice, right? He's going to practice, and he's intense, right? To say it mildly, he's intense, and he has focus and knows what he wants, and he's been prone to yell on occasion and push and cajole. But the great thing about him is 15 seconds later, you'll see him on the baseline saying something to someone, dapping him up, whatever it is. So you see that not only does he have the ability to get on them, right? He has the ability to connect with them afterwards to say, this is what it was, not, don't take the volume, take the words.
Seasons change, rosters change, Wes Moore wins.
He does.
How does he do it?
His own way is what I would say. Just as Will is Will, Wes is Wes, and his ability to connect, and not only with the players we have, but with the recruits, and the ability to bring in transfers and allow them to be a part of what NC State is. And I think you can go down the roster of our coaches and see the same thing. And whether it's Braden, whether it's Pop, whether it's Elliott, whether it's Simon, whether it's Kyle with tennises, and we've hired a number of new coaches that have really come in, and I think we do things a little bit different around here, right, than other places do. Not on purpose, but we do it because of what's most important, and that's the journey of our student athletes. And I think we always keep that in the forefront.
Revenue sharing started in July. Take us through the blueprint you used to prepare for that.
Well, again, I think the initial part is, are we going to do it, right? And getting to the 20.5, and the answer was yes, we are. And then, as I look at it from my job's not going to ever be to pick the quarterback, to pick the left tackle, the right tackle, the linebacker, and those types of things. And that's what what our coaches do and what their staffs do to make sure that, one, they want to make sure they have the resources. We can check the box. They have the resources to do that, and then rely on them and rely on their expertise, right, to do that. And the same thing with Coach Wade as he comes in, to make sure that we have the resources that he needs, and Coach Moore, and, all of our coaches. And we took a little bit of a different approach by providing a pot of money, right, for all of our sports. And if they wanted to go heavy on scholarships, right, they had the opportunity to go heavy on scholarships if they were going to be interested in, use baseball as an example. If Coach Avent says, catcher, left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher, shortstop, second baseman, center field, we want to be strong up the middle. That's where I want to put. That's your prerogative, right, to do that. I think the more ability we have to let them make those decisions, right, to allow them to build the team as they want was more important to me than to say, here's 17 scholarships and here's cost of attendance and here's Austin money and here's revenue share and this is all you can do. Coaches know better what they need than anyone else does, right? So that's the opportunity to provide that to them in one chunk allows them to build the team as they want.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Carolina Ford Dealers. See your Carolina Ford dealer, proud sponsor of NC State Athletics.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's summer event time, Sam. Great time to buy.
A Ford F-Series truck.
Take your pick. Gas, all-electric, hybrid, and diesel. With impressive towing capability for any size to-do list. Like building a house.
A 2-story brick colonial.
Or hauling that boat to the lake.
What?
That's actually on my to-do list.
Now get 0% financing with 0 down, plus a complimentary 2-year maintenance plan on a 2025 Ford F-150 truck, only at your Carolina Ford dealers.
Your animals depend on you every day. So we build equipment you can depend on every day. Equipment that powers through mud, dust, and extreme weather. So cutting hay, feeding livestock, and managing land is easier. Loaded with intuitive, innovative features and tech, Case IH equipment isn't just built to work. It's built to work for livestock producers. Case IH, built by farmers.
All right, Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work, so enjoy a Coca-Cola.
If you look to your left in your office, there's a really fun wall with memorabilia from your career, pictures of family. If you look to the right, there is a grease board with a calendar through the week. One of the things I've always wondered, if I were to walk in your shoes, what's your week like? You're going to Notre Dame, you're going to football games, you're also pulled into discussions that include rev share, nationwide.
Chris and I love to go watch our teams play, right? So that's like, you work all day. You don't know what direction it's going to go in. It may sound crazy, but I actually enjoy not knowing how every day is going to go because you're just not sure what's going to walk into the door. It's good to have you guys here, right? But 80 to 90% of the stuff that comes through that door is not good. Right? It's just part of it. This is a good thing.
Great.
See, I was nervous. He said it's good to have you guys here, but
right. However,
no, but it's great, to do this and then go home and grab something to eat. And she'll say, women's soccer plays. I'm like, all right, let's go.
We really appreciate your time. We know how busy you are. Thank you for this time.
It's been great being with both of you. And Tony, congrats on a great career.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate it, Boo.
That's Boo Corrigan, Tony Haynes, Matt Chazanow. Thanks for tuning in. This was a special edition here in Boo Corrigan's office from Learfield.